Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video, and for today's video, I'm going to be getting into another one which was a request from one of you out there, and I'm going to be showing you how to do pasta salad. Now yes, to start off, I did get a haircut recently, so say goodbye to all the hair as it was just making my head way too hot. But yeah, to jump right into today's video guys, as I just said, I'm going to be showing you how to do pasta salad, and I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter than usual. I already have everything kind of laid out on the table here, so just a second I'll show you what we're going to be doing, and then I'll show you guys the actual process of putting it all together. Alright guys, so you can see here my basic setup for the pasta salad. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing this a little bit kind of simpler than before. As you can see, I've already kind of pre-cut all my ingredients for the inside. I've already cooked my pasta. Now, I just cooked some penne here. That's just what I had laying around. For pasta salad, you can really use any kind of pasta. The one tip I will give with this is that you want to cook your pasta for a pasta salad a little bit longer than you normally would for, say, making any kind of hot pasta dish, because of course you're not going to be adding additional hot sauce or anything to it. So you want to have your pasta pretty much all the way cooked already. And then another thing you want to do is when you take it out of the hot water, you want to immediately cool it down. Again, this stops the cooking process so that your pasta won't be completely overcooked. But again, you don't want to cook it so much that it's falling apart. So you want it to be cooked so it's kind of soft, but when you bite into it, it still has a bite that just really fall apart in your mouth. And the other good thing is that the pasta is going to kind of soak up all the stuff that we're going to put into it. So moving on to that, you can see I have chopped up here. I have some red onion, I have some green spring onions, I have some red pepper. In here I have yellow pepper, orange pepper, and some carrot kind of tucked in at the bottom. I have some minced garlic. I have some basil and parsley, which I'm going to use for two different applications, which I'll get to momentarily. I have a lemon here, which I'm going to use just the zest of, not the juice. And then I'm going to be showing you guys how to do two different kinds of pasta salad. So initially I'm going to be doing just a simple kind of oil and vinegar one, and then I'm going to be doing a mayo-based or a creamy pasta salad. And the good thing with this is that kind of the initial setup is the same for both of them. The only real difference is that, of course, with the creamy pasta, you use mayonnaise. So this is why you can kind of do it in a big batch like this, and then just split off. Do I want creamy pasta salad, or do I want just a regular oil and vinegar? Once again, I have my bowl here already full of the pasta, ready to go. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump everything into there. And then once, as I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you the two different kinds. So we'll mix everything in the big bowl to start, and then I'll split off and I'll make the two separate kinds of pasta salad. So just don't be shy with anything. Just take all your ingredients, dump them all right into your big bowl of pasta here, like so. You can kind of see here maybe the orange there is the carrot as well. Again, I didn't waste a lot of time showing you guys how to dice everything up. If you want to know how to dice things, guys, I'll link that video down below, or at the end of this one as well. Okay, just go in there. Go in with your garlic. And I'm not going to worry about the herbs right now, as they're kind of more for finishing off later. So now that everything's in here, don't be shy. Use a spatula or just get in there with your hands and make sure everything is kind of evenly coated. We're just going to go in there with our hands. So again, just make sure everything's kind of evenly distributed throughout your whole pasta. Again, like I mentioned, the basis for your pasta salad is going to be the same. Of course, I'm just using some kind of simple fresh ingredients. There's many different things you can put in pasta salad, which I'll touch on a little bit later. But for today, this is what I'm going to be showing you guys. So just get in there, get everything nice and mixed around. Don't worry if it looks like you've lost some stuff, with some of the veggie pieces being smaller. They're going to sink to the bottom. But when you go and, finish it off later, everything will be nice and mixed in all together. So there we go, guys. There's your kind of your basic. You can see everything's nice mixed in there. Now at this point, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to split this into two halves just so I can show you how to make the two different kinds of salads. You can see now I've almost evenly split my pasta into two bowls. And to keep things simple, in the silver bowl here, I'm going to do the oil and vinegar based pasta salad, and in the white bowl over here, I'm going to be doing the cream based, or with in this case the mayo. In this case, you can see I'm going to be making almost the identical pasta salads, except one of them is going to have the mayo in it. So without rambling on too long, in this bowl here, now another thing of note is that after I cooked and cooled off my pasta before I put it in the bowl. I did drizzle a little bit of olive oil on it. That's just so that, you know, if it's going to sit for a few minutes, that it doesn't kind of all fuse together. The oil kind of help keep it separated. So I don't need to actually add a lot more oil to this. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit more oil. I'm going to do this on both bowls. So I'm not going to share. I'll leave the recipe, as always, guys, down in the description below, so you can see kind of exactly how much I'm using. But we're just going to put some oil in both. I'm going to do a little bit less oil in the creamy pasta salad because, of course, I'm using mayo, which, of course, kind of has some natural oil in it. And then I'm going to be using apple cider vinegar. Now, you can really use whatever you want. I like to use apple cider vinegar just because, A, it has a little bit of flavor. Actually, the vinegar bite isn't quite as strong as, you know, just using like a white vinegar or a balsamic. And, you know, it doesn't discolor anything. You could use red wine vinegar, you could use balsamic, but just keep in mind that if you do that, you know, they're gonna kind of discolor things ever so slightly. So, you know, if you don't want your pasta to still look pretty kind of yellow-ish and not with any color, just keep that in mind. And, you know, apple cider vinegar is very versatile. So with this, I'm just gonna be giving it a couple tablespoons. Again, with everything, guys, always start off with maybe less than you think you're going to need because it's much easier to add in flavor than it is to take out. You know, if I find when I try it later I don't have enough vinegar flavor, I can always add more. But if I start off with way too much, there's almost no way that I'm going to be able to take that out. So I'm going to start in here with 4 tablespoons for my oil and vinegar based one. And then on the mayo side, I'm going to go with just 2. Again, because we're adding the mayo to it later, we don't want it too vinegary, but we also want to keep it nice and light. So there you go. 4 tablespoons for the oil and vinegar, only 2 for the mayo base. And then we're just going to go in with some salt and pepper. So again, don't go too crazy. Just a couple hits of salt. Remember to always salt your water before you cook the pasta. And again, a couple hits of the pepper. And again, like as I just mentioned, guys, you know, always go with a little bit less. You can always add more later if you feel the need, rather than, you know, have to scramble and try to take it out. So again, a couple hits for the mayo side. Right, and then now the oil and vinegar one is pretty much done. So let me just flip just closer to the camera, and we're gonna get the mayo out. Now again, I'm gonna start with about 4 tablespoons of mayo in this one, and then I'm going to mix it through and see how we're looking. So let's actually start with mixing this one. So again, get your mayo in there, grab your spatula. I would recommend using a spatula, not your hands for this, just because, you know, keep your hands clean. But yeah, just kind of get the mayo in there and just get your spatula in there and mix everything in. You want all your pasta to be nice and coated. You guys might be able to see here, you know, it's getting nice and coated, but it's not super heavy. Again, because we have the oil in there, we have the vinegar in there, the mayo is going to stick, but it's not going to be super heavy. It's not going to, you know, give that really feeling like it's sticking to your insides, but it's kind of a nice light addition that you can have, again, with a barbecue, or just even on its own. There we go. You can see after just a couple seconds, you can see it's nice and coated. Again, if you look at it, you know, it's not super heavy. I can still kind of see the pasta in there, but, you know, it's all nice and evenly coated. And again, I'll come back to it a little bit. I'll try some. I'll let you know, guys know how it is. But once again, you know, again, season it as you go along. Make sure it tastes good for yourself. And as long as you guys are happy with it, that's really all that matters. And then to quickly just jump back over to the non-mayo one, guys. Again, same thing. Once you have all your seasoning already in there, just get your spatula, or again your hands, whatever you're more comfortable with. Give it a nice toss up, make sure everything's nice and coated. Give it a little try. And so the taste of flavors again. If it needs more, you can always go in, add some more salt, pepper, vinegar, whatever you think it might need. Again, don't go too crazy. The name of the game is, you know, you want to obviously to be able to taste the flavors, but you don't want anything to be too intense. You want to try to keep things nice and light where you can and not kind of overwhelm people, because, you know, especially if you're making this for a side dish, you know, it's just a side dish. If you're having this with hamburgers, you know, you don't want the pasta salad to overpower everything else. But if you guys want to make it more of like a whole meal, there's many different things you can add to it. You know, as I mentioned, I'm just kind of using some quick, fresh, chopped up vegetables. But of course, you know, you can throw in roasted vegetables or roasted pepper, roasted zucchini. If you want to make it a bit more of a hearty meal, let's say, you can throw in, you know, some chicken, some fish, any kind of meat in there. Again, you know, you want to always keep pasta salad cold. You know, if you're going to just heat it up, then it's just going to be a hot pasta dish. And then last but not least, our last little bits of flavor, as I mentioned before, I have the fresh basil and the fresh parsley. Now, the parsley is going to go into both sets of pasta salad, but I'm only going to chop up the basil roughly here and throw it into my non-mayo or the oil and vinegar one, just to give it an extra little bit of light flavor. But I've found in the past that, you know, basil doesn't quite always go with the mayo. That, you know, personal preference, up to you guys. But for in this case, you know, because I don't have kind of the extra richness of, say, the mayo, you know, so oil and vinegar, I'm going to use something like basil, you know, which is kind of a bit of a stronger herb, just to get in there and kind of, you know, enhance the flavor a little bit and give it kind of a different kind of flavor profile. Again, you know, if you guys are going to make these for a party, you know, and you don't want them to be too dissimilar, that's a good way to make them kind of different. You know, you can have the mayo in one, then you throw some extra fresh herbs like basil or something into kind of your oil and vinegar one, and that also just sets them apart a little bit and gives, you know, you're going to basically have pasta salad but in two really different forms. So then just go ahead, get the parsley. Again, I'm just going to kind of rough chop everything here. We're going to fold it into our pasta salad, and then I'll show you guys quickly what that looks like after we're done. Okay, so as I'm going along here, we're almost done with our pasta salad. But I also noticed, you know, I want to give you guys kind of a little pro tip. I noticed, and you guys might notice as well, especially with the oil and vinegar one, when you're mixing it, you know, if you're having a hard time, maybe the pasta's not soaking up liquid, or you just have a little bit too much that's not really staying on the pasta, it's kind of going in the bottom, you can always throw in just a little shot of mustard. Now, you don't want to throw in a lot because, again, we're not trying to make this, you know, a mustard-flavored pasta salad. But what the mustard does is it kind of is a binding agent between the oil and the vinegar. It helps to kind of emulsify it, bind it together, and help it stick to your product a little bit easier. So I find if you have some Dijon mustard, throw in like a little teaspoon of that. Mix it in. If you don't have Dijon mustard, you can go ahead and just use some regular mustard like I have here. But just to give you a quick example of how much I mean, again, you don't need a whole lot. A little bit will go a long way. So just honestly go in there, get a quick shot of mustard in like that. You can see there's really not a whole lot in there. And then just go ahead and give it a stir. And you should find that in most cases, that's going to help you kind of bind everything together. If you wanted to take it a step further, you could, of course, you know, get a smaller mixing bowl and pre-mix everything and then put it over it that way. But yeah, there's a little pro tip for you guys. If you're having a hard time getting your oil and vinegar to mix, which I know they don't really like to do in most cases, throw a little shot of mustard in there. Again, not so much that the flavor comes fully out in your pasta salad, just enough to keep everything kind of sticking together. Of course, we don't need to do that for our mayo-based one, as the mayonnaise in there kind of achieves the exact same purpose. Alright guys, and one other kind of quick thing of note is that once you've made your pasta salads and they're sitting like this, let them kind of sit and almost marinate themselves for a little while. Of course, as I've mentioned in many videos past, the longer something sits, the more the flavors tend to build. And especially with the pasta, you know, the pasta is going to kind of take on and soak in some of the flavors. So you want to mix it up and let them sit for a little while just to have all those flavors kind of soak in a little bit better. So, you know, if you're going to be making pasta salad to say take to a party or even to eat for dinner, you know, either make it a day ahead or, you know, make it up in the morning, early afternoon, so that by the time you're ready to eat in the evening or whenever, it's kind of time to sit and all the flavors are going to be even better than when, you know, you kind of just initially finished making the pasta salad. But with that being said, guys, I'm not going to ramble on for too long. That's my basic kind of adventure into making pasta salad. So if you guys enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more. Oh, and as I did mention before, I'll put kind of the basic recipe down below so you guys kind of know what to go grab to do this quickly. But if you guys want more, I started up my Facebook page again. I'm not sure if I had mentioned it in a previous video, but I have started up a new Facebook page since my old account was deleted and everything. So I'll have a link in the description below. I'll put up a link on the screen right here. It should be on here now. It's facebook.com/Turbo Kitchen Facebook go on there, guys. And I think what I'll do is when I make these cooking videos, I'll go on there. I'll post maybe a PDF or some kind of downloadable document that you can easily, you know, bring up, cut, print out, pop on screen whenever you guys are making this, to make life a little bit easier than having to, you know, open up YouTube and read the comments down below. But once again, guys, that's gonna do it for this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.